Welcome back to Spin Doctors Archive, the podcast. My name is Daniel Heinze. It's been a while since the last episode was released. In April of 2025, Face Full of Cake was released, the 7th studio album by Spin Doctors. And a lot has happened in Spin Doctors land since then, and that's what this podcast episode is about. Spin Doctors drummer Aaron Comys reports on how 2025 was for the band and what highlights and challenges the year had in store. And of course, we're looking ahead. You'll hear that the band will be heading to South America and Australia, among other places this year. And what else do Chris, Eric, Aaron and Jack have planned? You'll hear it now. Enjoy. Hello, Aaron. It's great to have you back on the podcast. It's been a while since we last spoke.
Great to see you, man. How you been?
Doing good. This episode is intended to be a little update, a look back at the past year and a look ahead to what 2026 has in store for Spin Doctors. Are you ready to do that?
Let's do it.
Okay, let's go. 2025, it was a pretty busy year for you. In April, Spin Doctors released Face Full of Cake, your latest album. Let's start with the reactions to this record. What are your favorite responses to the album and how satisfied are you with the reactions to Face Full of Cake?
First of all, it was just great to get a new record out. It'd been, I don't know, how long had it been? Since If the River Was Whiskey was the last one, right?
Yeah, it was like 12 years or something.
Okay, so time flies, right? So it's just great to get a new record out. It's, obviously we talked a lot about it. We had such a good time making it. And the response has been great. I think we got some really good reviews. Most importantly, the fans seem to really like it, and we love it. And I think that at this point in our career, I think I might have mentioned this to you before, but there's two things that make a successful record in my mind now. One is having fun doing it and feeling proud of it, and then two, if you can walk away with a couple songs that work well in your live set, to me that's really a big win. Because particularly with a band like us that's been around for so long, we have a big catalog of material now. And, you want your show, as you know, we mix our setup every night still, but you want to always have a really strong set. And there's certain songs that we do every night. So, finding, like, for instance, I think the songs that really just seem to really make the cut pretty much almost every night was Gorilla. Gorilla goes over incredibly well every night. So that's been like a gift in a way, having it. And also Rock and Roll Heaven really does very well. So I think we probably played those two songs the most for the new songs since the record's come out. But, we've done a lot of them. I mean, Boombox, Heart of the Highway, I'm the Man. You got Eric's song.
She Stands Alone.
Stands Alone. We did a lot. We kind of were doing like, that was great. We were kind of going back and forth between that and Off My Line this year for his song to sing. We played them all. We got through them all at different times. But it's nice when you walk away with a couple staples. Like if you look back at all our records since the first one, there's always like maybe one or two that really, really stay consistently in the set. So I
know the songs feel like they belong to your set and not the new songs anymore. So
right.
They are kind of organic part of the set by now.
Yeah, totally. And so, I'm really happy with it. I don't think any of us walked into this thinking we were going to have a big blockbuster sell or a hit record. It's just such a different world now than it was. So, but, the response has been great. And I think we're really happy with it,
After a few gigs in the spring and a 4-day residency in Utah, where you even played Face Full of Cake in its entirety, the summer tour started with Blues Traveler and Gin Blossoms. It kicked off in July. Tell us a bit more about that summer tour. How was it?
It was great. As you know, we go way back with both those bands. Blues Traveler from the very beginning, like a brother band, from the New York City scene. And it was so great to hang with them and play with them again, because we used to play with them so much, but over the last 20 years, we've done a few shows, but not as much. We've always talked about we got to do it. So it was really great. And Gin Blossoms as well. You remember we did the big summer tour with them like in 94, and we've done a few tours with them over the years and different shows. So, getting these three groups together, really the two bands that we have the most history with performing live with, So it was great, man. I mean, it went, I think as good or better than anybody could have expected, and it went so well that we're doing it again this summer.
Yeah. We'll talk about that later.
But there was a lot of fun collaborations as well. Uh, we had Robin come sit in with us on a song almost every night. Popper sat in with us on a number of times. Jesse played guitar with us a few times, and Chris and Eric were sitting in with Blues Traveler. Chris was sitting in with Jim Blossom sometimes. So it was just and there'll be a lot more of that this year too. So it was a blast.
How did you figure out which collaboration would work and fit?
We just kind of messed around. I mean, the first thing we did was Robin had us come to his studio and record.
Indiana Wants Me?
No. Well, there was that one.
Dangerous Type.
Thing. So that was the first thing we did. We recorded that. So then we started playing that first. We had Robin, a little bit with us. And then we started doing, then we went and did Musera, Drumeo, and they threw Purple Rain on us. They throw a song at you that you least expect. And, and that was in a way, a real challenge because it's just such an iconic song. It's like, geez. So, but that went great. And so then we started playing it on the tour as our cover, and it really just has become like a staple in the set. Yeah. And we also started doing the Oasis song,
Don't Look Back in Anger, right?
Don't Look Back in Anger. And I obviously Oasis was like the band of 2025, incredible tour. I went and saw them here in New York. It was amazing.
Did you like it?
I loved it. Yeah, I loved it. It was incredible. And so, everybody started doing covers, and like Jim Blossom started doing Rocket Man, and Chris was saying with that. And that was really good. And so it was, you get competitive. Like, oh shit. I was like thinking, okay, we got to come up with something that's going to like stand up to because the Cars tune is good, but it's not really like whatever, And this was, we were doing Purple Rain, which was great. But we wanted something that we could collaborate with some other people. So being into Oasis, I was seeing online how Don't Look Back in Anger it's just such an epic song. It's like, let's play that.
Fantastic song.
It's perfect. And so that was a really fun one. That went over great. We did that a lot on the tour.
I'm so happy that you chose Don't Look Back in Anger and not Wonderwall, which was like arguably the biggest hit. But I think Don't Look Back in Anger is the better song, and it sounds so good when you are playing it.
Thank you. I mean, it was just so much fun to play. It's such an epic song. I just think it's great. And everybody just crushed it. And, and we had Popper sit in with us on, he sat in with us on Purple Rain one night, which was amazing in Nashville. And then he sat in with us on Franklin's Tower. We were doing, that was another one of the covers we were doing.
Yeah. You also did like Good Times, Bad Times by Led Zeppelin.
Bad Times. Right? Yeah. We kind of started the tour. We were doing like Franklin's Tower, Good Times, Bad Times, Don't Look Back in Anger, Purple Rain. And then it became obvious, like, okay, well, Purple Rain and Don't Look Back in Anger are just crushing it every night. So let's stop fucking around,
It was fantastic to see all you guys playing together, like Ben Wilson from Blues Traveler sitting in
it was great.
Line a couple of times.
Played with us a lot. Almost every night, Ben would come up and do She Stands Alone and Don't Look Back in Anger, and it was just it's fun. We're really looking forward to doing it again this year, man. It's gonna be great. I'm
always happy when someone on keyboards is collaborating with you, because I just think it fits so well to your sound.
Yeah. It's fun to mix it up. I mean, it's just always it's so great, like, to have this 4-piece rock band, Spin Doctors. I think we really love this being like that. But like, it's really fun to have different people come and sit in. It always brings something out, and it's been cool.
Spin Doctors were always the band that had to go on stage first, and I imagine that's a rather difficult task, being in that slot, being the first to perform. How was it for you?
It worked out well. I mean, I think it can be difficult. We were concerned that it was going to be like people weren't going to be there yet, Yeah. And I mean, seconds is always the best slot, because if you're second on a 3-person bill, every single person who's coming to the show is going to be there for you. Yeah. So Blossoms had the prime spot, but we did really well. I mean, most of the shows were full, if not full, almost full when we went on. And by like 3 or 4 songs in, it was completely jam packed. So, people were coming early for us, and it was great. So, it can be a little bit of a difficult spot. It's still light outside. You don't have the lights, but I think we crushed it. And, I think, the 3 bands together, it's like a really, really good bill, and people were just excited to see us all play together, you know?
I saw some videos on YouTube, and it was great to see how you were able to win the people over and like get them into concert mode early in the evening.
Yeah.
And
Well,
so this is quite an achievement, I think.
I had a little joke with Chris, like, about the second or third night of it, because everybody would always stand up for, but everybody was into it. Then Little Miss people would stand up. Two Princes people stand up. So I took a $20 bill. I taped it to my drums. I said, Chris.
Oh yeah, I saw that. What was that?
The $20 bill. I said, if you can get them to stand up on Jimmy Olsen, you can have the $20. And I did that, and then I kind of lowered it to 10 and 5 and then 1, and then finally I was like, okay, you know the deal now. We want to get them.
It's getting expensive.
But it was hilarious, and it was worth every penny.
Fantastic. But looking back at the tour, the summer tour also had some difficult moments, like when John Popper got COVID and couldn't perform, and when you got injured. What was that like?
Well, that was hard. I mean, Popper started the summer not great because he had that surgery and he had some complications, but God bless him, man. He managed to rally, and he played amazingly well. And then he did get COVID, I think around the August, like the Texas show.
End of August or something like that, or mid-August, yeah.
And it was like last minute, and it was either you cancel the whole show or the show must go on. And so Chris and Robin rallied and sang, and they made the best of it. I mean, it was really.
It was so funny seeing Chris with like a sheet of paper with the lyrics to "But Anyway" or some Blues Traveler song.
I mean, look, if anybody can do it, it was Chris. He did a great job. Sure. And it's a hard thing to ask people. The Blues Traveler handled it well. They were like, look, if anybody wants a refund, we will refund your money, but the show is going to go on. And I think we handled it really well. And I think there were limited refunds. There were certainly some people that were upset. I mean, but it wasn't a big deal, and it was cool. And then for me, man, it was like the last 2 weeks of the tour, we had a day off in Little Rock, and I was just going to get some food, and I just tripped on a curb, fell down, and I broke my right elbow, and I had to miss the last like 5 shows of the tour. And then a few one-offs. I came back after like 2 weeks. We had a really big festival gig in down in wherever it was, Baltimore or whatever. Probably the biggest show of the year for us. It was massive. And I talked to my doc. I went to my studio, and I was like, okay, I can play. Not like I had to really be careful, really like sort of lean on my left hand and adjust my playing. But I got the approval from my doctor, so I just came back, and it was challenging, but I was glad to come back. And but I'm totally fine now. I mean, I went right into rehab and did everything I could to heal quickly. And I just had to adjust musically for about a month until I was fully back. But yeah, I'm just glad. It could have been a lot worse. So I'm glad it was, we made it through.
I never thought about that. Do you have to be especially careful in some situations? I mean, you need your arms to play every night, of course.
Yeah,
and did something like that happen before to you?
I've never broken a bone in my life.
Oh.
Always been very careful. I'm also, and it's funny because just like a week before, Steve, our sound guy, tripped backstage. He tripped on like a wood plank. It was slippery, and he sprained his wrist really bad. And I was thinking, well, that was me. I'd be out. He was like, oh yeah. And I remember I was sitting on the bus being like, yeah, man, you got to be really careful when you're walking around. I said, I'm super careful, because I fell a couple of years ago and hit my head. I was fine, but I've been really careful, really conscious, just to not fall, just to be careful. And then 2 days later, I fucking fall on my ass, and break my arm. But shit happens. And
great to have you back in the saddle again.
Yeah, it was short lived. And anyway, but we made it through. It was despite a few little things like that, it was the best year we've had in many years. It's the most shows we've had. I think we had, just a great.
Oh, I can give you numbers. It's my pleasure to do so if you hang on a second, because
Sure.
It's pretty interesting to see how many gigs you played.
I mean, the big thing for us is we have a new booking agent.
Yeah.
We switched booking agents, and they just upped our game tremendously in 1 year with the type of shows, the amount of shows we're doing. So it feels like we've been sort of working towards this for a while, and you know our schedule. We've been busy.
I got 74 shows in 2025 altogether, including the private shows and some TV gig and even the Musora show. And this was the most you guys played since, let me have a look, I think Even more than 2013 when If the River Was Whiskey came out, and a little less than 2005 when Nice Talking to Me came out, but about the same
Okay,
size.
we did that many then. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and it'll probably be more than that this year. There's already.
Fantastic.
I mean, you see the calendar. There's already a lot.
If you had to name like one favorite moment of that summer tour, is there something that you remember very fondly, like a special show or a special location?
I think Red Rocks is always like a special. And as we started the tour that night, we had an incredible gig there. It was it was packed from the first note. We got a standing ovation. I remember when we stood up on the front of the stage. I think I put it on my Instagram when we went to the front of the stage to take our bow after that set. It was just it felt like a really great moment of sort of where we've sort of taken ourselves back to and where we're going to be going, that last year and forward. So if I had to pick one moment, that was it.
I've been there once, like in 2008, seeing Blues Traveler on July 4th. It was like a dream come true for me. And this is
what
a fantastic venue. Yeah,
I mean, I went when I was in high school. The first time I saw the Grateful Dead was in 1984.
Wow.
Me and a friend of mine, my good friend Kenny Stern, drove from Dallas to Red Rocks and camped out 3 nights and saw the Grateful Dead. I was like, 15 or 16. And so it's always been a special place. I mean, I've gotten to play there now, I don't know, 5 or 6 times. And it's always just because I think back about, going to see the Dead there when I was a kid, it's a special venue for sure.
Another piece of news is that Spin Doctors have been featured on the live music streaming service Nux since the summer tour, Nux.net. Fans can currently find 12 shows from last summer there, and I think the recordings sound fantastic. So what's next for Nux? Will there be new shows or even some old ones too?
I'm sure we'll be doing plenty more this year coming up. I mean, as many as we can do, we'll do, and I know there was talk about releasing some older stuff, and I'm not really sure what happened with that. I'm sure it's in the works, or, I know we talked about it a little bit, and they're kind of uptight about what you use. Cause I was like, I was trying to get all the stuff that you have, but
yeah, that's not that easy because you need like original files and not like second generation cassette versions of soundboards and so on. And so that makes it a bit harder to go through the like live music archive that's available on archive.org.
You know what? The good news is it's all available on Archive anyway. So people better for free that way.
Hundreds of shows, and if you want to listen to that and want to navigate through that, check out our site at spindoctorsarchive.com, of course. And then in the fall, you continue to give concerts, including shows with Blues Traveler in the fall, and you already mentioned the Ryman Auditorium in Nashville, Tennessee. That was definitely a highlight of the fall, right?
Absolutely. Beautiful, beautiful place. Great. What a historic venue. We had a great show there. So the fall was a nice run. I guess that was when I made my comeback after my arm. But we ended on a high note, and we're looking forward to getting back out. I think our first show coming up this year is in maybe March or something. We start to play.
It starts in early spring, I think. So okay, so much for looking back to 2025. Let's look ahead. I saw on social media that you just spent your days together in the studio. 35 years after Pocketful of Kryptonite, you were back at the famous Power Station studio where you recorded a lot of the first album. Please tell us what you were doing there.
We did some interviews and stuff. Basically, we were at we recorded the first session for Pocketful of Kryptonite, which was at the Power Station. We've talked about this. Two Princes and Shinbo and Hard to Exist were recorded in the A room at the Power Station. The rest of it was at RPM. So we went back. We were going to go to the Power Station in New York City, but there's a new power station, not new, but there's a power station in New England, which is the exact replica of the A room in New York City. It's kind of frightening. You walk in there, And so we went there to just do some stuff. Because as we know, it's the 35th anniversary of Full of Kryptonite. So one of the things we're doing this year, there's going to be a lot of special things. There's going to be a vinyl release again. And then also we're going to Australia.
Yeah. And playing the album in sequence, right?
That will be a Pocketful of Kryptonite tour. So we will be doing the entire album from start to finish. And then we'll do like another, long encore of other stuff too. So that's going to be great. We haven't been to Australia in 30 years. We're going to New Zealand.
Yeah, it's the first time since the 19th. I was double checking it because I couldn't believe it, but it's like that, right?
Yeah. So we're psyched. So that's going to be great. And then we're also going to Brazil. I don't think it's all been announced, but there's about 8 shows in Brazil.
8 shows. Okay, so far not that many shows are announced.
Been announced, but
great.
It's a lot. It's a bunch of festivals and some of our own shows and some double bills with Smash Mouth, and so that's going to be fantastic.
But once you're there, why not playing some more shows than just one?
Yeah, well, it's been booked for a while. It just hasn't all been announced yet. So it's
great.
Any day now there'll be a full announcement, but we're very much looking forward to that.
So maybe by the time this podcast is out, you guys know more than we do at the moment, or I do at the moment.
Yeah,
just look on spindoctors.com for all the concert dates.
Yeah, I'm sure by the time this comes out, it'll be announced.
And congratulations to all you people in Brazil for seeing Spin Doctors again.
We can't wait. We can't wait.
And then the summer tour is coming up, right? You're going on tour
and there's
again?
a lot. And then we have a bunch of our
Blues Traveler.
Before that, we also have a lot of our. We have some good one-offs, like before Brazil. There's a bunch of private shows too that probably aren't on the calendar, and then there's some other shows. And then the summer tour, which starts. We have a couple shows right before that. Things are getting booked all the time, but the summer tour starts at the beginning of July and goes through the middle of September.
You guys starting at Red Rocks again, or will that be a different?
We're not doing Red Rocks. We're not doing.
Okay.
Blues Traveler does it every year, but that's not going to be part of the tour.
I see.
The tour starts July 6th somewhere.
And you're playing different markets and places than 2025, right?
Basically going to. I mean, maybe there's a few places we're playing again. I think we're playing Atlantic City again, but for the most part, it's all the places we didn't go. More East Coast shows, Florida, just all over the place. We're playing the Hollywood Bowl in LA, which is going to be really cool. It's all, you can see it. They're all that, the whole tour has been really.
You're also playing Spec, right? The Saratoga Performing Arts Center.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Have you already thought about which songs to cover and which collaborations to do this summer?
We've been sort of talking about it a little bit. I mean, I think we'll definitely continue to do Purple Rain, and we'll probably continue to do Don't Look Back in Anger. Not every night, but sometimes, because they're so great. But we're definitely talking about trying to think of another one or two that would really be, we got to keep the level high if you're going to do a cover. You know what I mean? You really got to, after Don't Look Back in Anger and Purple Rain, it's like, it's got to work. You got to be good. I mean, it's interesting because the one of the cool things about this tour is, we're all the bands are playing shorter sets than usual. You know what I mean? Our set's 45 minutes. Jim Blossoms are playing an hour. Blues Travelers playing like an hour, maybe a little bit more. So, you don't have a lot of time. You have to really we look at it differently than we look at like when we do a 90-minute, 2-hour set. There's not as much, we're trying to continue to have improvisation. And I think one of the things I was really, really happy with about musically last year is I feel like we sort of entered new territory with some of the jams. Like there was some cool things that happened, like the end of Rock and Roll Heaven turned into.
Yeah, I like that. This tiny bit at the end of the song. Yeah.
And also, What Time Is It had morphed into something different. So it's been, for me, one of the best things about Spin Doctors and one of the things that really keeps things fresh is we have the ability, even after playing a song like What Time Is It for so long, and sometimes we'll do like a jam at the end, sometimes we won't, but sometimes certain things will happen where you do things not exactly the same way, but similar. And I feel like we sort of discovered some new ground with the improvisation. So that's great. But, you got to be careful with it. You got to keep it exciting, and you got to keep it compact when you're playing 45 minutes. And
I know there's some talking in the Blues Traveler fan bubble. Some fans are saying that Blues Traveler are playing way too much cover songs. So I guess this is also a thing to consider, like playing all the hits, playing some deep cuts, and playing the right cover choice to make the set working as a set.
Look, you got 3 bands playing. I think the majority of the people really want to see everybody, but you might have some people that are there more to see Blues Traveler, some people that are there more to see Jim Blossoms, some people more to see us. But for the most part, it's such a good combo that everybody's into it. But you have to, you want to entertain the crowd. You know what I mean? This is like and I think that we've all kind of, one of the great things about doing tours with other bands is how you influence each other. You see like, oh shit, the Jim Blossoms are crushing it. Your Robin's getting everybody on their feet. Okay, we got to fucking kick it up a notch. Or Blues Traveler, wow, they're doing cool segues, or they're jamming a lot. We got to make sure and I can see even Jim Blossoms maybe stretching out a little more than I've ever seen them do. So, you influence each other, and the name of the game is to play great and to get people into it. Mm-hmm. So I think, we've been real conscious of presenting a show that really is entertaining And inside of that 45 minutes is not a dull moment because there's just not time for it, So I really like the way it's been going. So there'll
It's
be a
like
lot
45 minutes firing on all cylinders and
fucking firing on all cylinders, and
best way.
not being afraid to play a ballad. I mean, look, Purple Rain's a ballad. How Could You Want 'Em? We did How Could You Want 'Em a lot this summer. It goes over great, So it doesn't mean you have to be like balls to the wall, but you want to be dynamic and but it's really important to structure the set in a way that I think people are gonna stay really engaged.
Fantastic. So, okay, so much for the plans for spring and summer. So, of course, I need to ask, what are the longer term prospects for the band? Maybe new songs or a new album? And how about a
Yeah,
tour of Europe? Maybe I need to ask because I'm in Europe
yeah, we
myself and I
really
want
need,
to see you again.
we really want to go to Europe. I mean, we almost came this summer. We had some good offers for. We had a couple offers for some good festivals. It just didn't make sense. So that's possible. I mean, I think that you know, with the Kryptonite thing, it's a good opportunity to come back over there maybe in the fall. So I don't know. I don't want to say anything because nothing's booked, but there's definitely talk about it. We're definitely going to get back over there. The year is like getting filled up quick, so there's only so much.
We keep our fingers crossed. Yeah.
But I think this year on the horizon is what we just talked about. As far as new material, I mean, there's always new material in the works with us, and I have a feeling we haven't really talked about it, but I have a feeling maybe next winter we'd go in the studio again. The winter is like a good time to record.
Yeah.
We're not busy with touring, and I have a feeling something will happen. In the studio in the next winter.
Looking for.
I'd like to see that happen.
Yeah, we
I think
too.
everybody would.
So,
Yeah.
what musical projects are you and the others working on outside of the Spin Doctors at the moment? Can you talk about some of
Yeah,
the
I mean,
stuff you're doing, or maybe Chris or Eric or
I've
Jack?
been doing, while I'm in town, I've been doing a few gigs. My band plays once every month or two. I've been playing with some other people. I do a lot of, as you see, I do a lot of session work and stuff with different artists. So there's a whole bunch of new records with different singer-songwriters and bands and stuff that are in the works that I've been doing. I know Eric's been doing some stuff, some of his own stuff with, I think, kind of some offshoots of the group he uses on his Wednesday night blues gigs.
Mhm.
Chris has been doing some solo gigs, and he's been doing a lot of those shows with it's like, what is it called? The something song.
Yeah, the songwriter circle thing. Yeah.
Yeah, Story of a Song. So that's been going good. And that John Hampton from 9 Days put that together. He's a great songwriter. Lives out in Long Island. So I know they've been doing a handful of shows. And Jack's always busy in his studio. Me and Jack work together all the time. I'm going down there a lot. And so yeah, we're all busy and gearing up to get the band back together.
Yeah, it's always fun updating your solo discography because that one single page is so large and it's so
Yeah.
much stuff that was added over all those years. I think
Yeah.
that's
There's a lot of stuff coming out. I try to keep you. I forget sometimes some of the stuff.
just send it and I'll edit as soon as possible.
Yeah, I'll send it. But anyways,
Great. We've come to the end of our little chat. Thank you for your time and for all your
great to
answers.
see you.
I wish you and the band a successful and happy year 2026.
Thank you, my friend.
So that's my latest conversation with Aaron. I hope you enjoyed listening. Please subscribe to this podcast so you don't miss out anything we do here for you. And of course, please visit spindoctorsarchive.com regularly, my little website and your resource for all things spins. Set lists, detailed discography information, song lyrics and information, news and live recordings, and so much more. I'm Daniel. Thanks for listening and see you next time. Mau be Jow, people.
Good Dryer and Tony Bridges. Good job on the saxophone, ladies and gentlemen. Give it up for them. I said, give it up. Yeah.